Hi, this is Colin Andrews Egbert, co-founder and CEO of RealEstateInvestor.com. And what I'm going to do, I wrote an article called How to Do a Short Sale, the Basics. And for me, it's easier for me to learn in a audio or in a video type basis. So that's what I'm going to do, just in case you are the same way. So here it goes. Again, how to do a short sale, the basics. It's likely that you've come across many properties in foreclosure that have little or no equity. In other words, the seller owes as much or more than the property is worth. In these types of situations, lenders will sometimes accept less than the full amount they're due, which is most commonly referred to as a short sale or a short pay sometimes. If you negotiate a short sale with the lender, this is difficult because it's hard to find a bank officer with the authority to accept a discount like this. You need to call around and locate the loss mitigation department for the lender you want to use. Most likely, every lender you deal with will have a different name for this department. A lot of times it's loss mitigation, or there's several ones, but loss mitigation is most likely, but they have multiple names. So expect to do some discussing and perhaps be passed around when you call. Just as when you have a difficulty paying with a bill and want to get false information corrected or just any kind of bureaucracy, and you have to move to place and be transferred and wait on hold, the same is true with this. So you might have to talk to a variety of automated voice systems. Once you've gotten hold of the right person, you can begin negotiations. The type of sale is actually advantageous to the lender because a short sale saves the lender many of the costs associated with foreclosing. These types of costs can include attorney's fees, borrower bankruptcy delays, borrower eviction, property damage, other costs associated with getting the property ready for sale, sales fees, and so on. With a short sale situation, a lender gets the property back faster, or essentially a lender gets their cash faster and gets rid of the property so that the lender can cut losses and save money. As the investor, your job is to convince the lender that it's a better deal for the lender to accept less money now. And that's the idea, is that these folks, the banks, foreclosure is very, very costly for banks. Very costly. And because of that, it's very important that they need to figure out ways that they can be able to turn a non-performing asset into to clear it off their books, so to say, because that affects their lending ability. If they have X amount of bad debt, they have to hold back a multiple of that amount of bad debt. Banks make money by lending out cash, so it's very important for these folks to be able to solve these issues of their non-performing debt. A lot of folks are like, why would a bank want to take less for a property? Well, the reason why is because a lot of times they're going to take less regardless. It's that they can take less now or they can take less in the future. So we've had some great discounts because these banks do understand it. But sometimes it can be painful getting through to them, as you know. And that's why we actually came up with REIShortsales.com, is to be able to do all of the bank negotiation for you. All of the issues with talking to the loss mitigators, faxing the packages back and forth to them, you don't have to worry about that. So that's REIShortsales.com. It's a great resource for you. All right, so let's continue to the article. Be prepared to give the lender some information about the property, the borrower in question, and the deal the borrower made with you. Specifically, the lender will want to know what the property is worth. In general, the lender will hire a local real estate broker or appraiser to evaluate the property. This is called a broker's price opinion, or BPO. If you're going to be doing short sales and pre-foreclosure, you're going to hear BPO a lot and actually influencing the BPO. Let's talk about that a little bit, actually. If you like, you can also submit your own appraisal or similar sales information. Besides this type of detail, you'll want to give the lender as much specific negative information about the property as you can. In addition, you should include some useful information about the neighborhood and the local economy, either positive or negative. Some sources you can use for this type of information would be a local newspaper articles discussing these types of subjects. You should also get estimates for repair from a contractor, in this case focusing on the highest bid possible. So again, the BPO, the way that you influence them is, first of all, you want to do it morally. You don't want to lie. I know some people that they teach, putting water in the basement, or making it look like the bathroom flooded or that the pipes burst. You don't want to do that. First of all, it's just wrong, and second of all, it's actually it's fraudulent. You're saying something that really isn't. So I heard people putting tarps on roofs. You don't want to do that. What you do want to do is get a very high quality inspector out to the property and get every single detail, every single potential problem that there is. I've even seen new builds, properties that are less than a year old, that just because of some poor construction or things that they left out have had bid estimates as high as $10,000, $15,000 worth of repairs, actual repairs. So make sure you do want to go out and get repairs, low comps. You don't want to use brand new house comps or recently sold retail comps, because your house is not a retail comp. Your house is a distressed property, and so they should be getting the low comps of that area. So you definitely want to do that. All right, to the article. In addition, the lender will ask you about the borrower's financial status. It's sort of a loan application in reverse. The borrower has to prove that she or he is insolvent and cannot afford the payments. The borrower must show that he or she has no financial means to repay the loan. This type of documentation may involve even more paperwork than the original mortgage application will. In addition, the borrower should submit a hardship letter, which basically details how much financial trouble the borrower is experiencing. Although you should not lie, paint the most negative picture you can while still being completely honest. And I want to say that again. You want to make the picture as bad as possible, which it probably is, and there's no need for any type of modifying the facts, so to say, or other words known as lying, because it's not necessary. These people are behind their payments because they're experiencing financial, emotional, sometimes physical disasters, and it's absolutely necessary for them to know exactly what those emergencies that they're experiencing. If the bank thinks for 1 second that these folks can pay it, they will not take a discount on the property. So that is a little bit about the basics of how to do a short sale. Again, the short sale is not an end all. It used to be where you could just do a short sale and you could do a double closing. I'm seeing that it's harder and harder for that to happen. So what you need to do is you need to figure out other ways, essentially with private money and other places that you can be able to have success with short sales. Short sales are a great way to be able to make chunks of cash. However, in this market currently, it is becoming more challenging to do it if you don't have any credit and you don't have any cash. So there'll be more to talk about with that in a future article. What I wanted to do with this is just to go over a few of the basics of how to do a short sale. Again, there's awesome information on realestateinvestor.com over short sales and a whole bunch of other things. We have members that have done as many as 400 short sales on realestateinvestor.com. So you definitely want to become involved if you haven't already. Have a great one.